Hello, welcome to the continuation of our discussion on the uh, chapter 3 on the reviewing phase, focusing about the last activity, especially in the conduct of reliability testing. So it is said that effective assessments are dependable and consistent that yield reliable evidence. Reliability refers to the consistency of measure, which can be affected by the clarity of the assessment tool and the capability of those who use it. Sometimes the effectiveness of our instrument depends on the clarity of assessment tool being used by the person administering it, and of course the capability of the person or the teacher or the individual who used it. Reliable assessment tools generate repeatable and consistent results over time. If it is reliable, then no matter how long, after some time, if you're going to conduct it again, then it will still generate the same result. And that is what we call test pretest. Okay? So it is still part of the reliability testing. So sometimes we conduct it across items, and that is what we call internal consistency. So the internal consistency is considered to be producing or an instrument that is capable of producing consistent or similar results. No? So it is across items. So there are instruments that are used to measure a specific skills, example intelligence or uh, skills of a children. Then you probably going to identify the content of those in terms of items. Are those items really measure the specific construct that you want the student to exhibit, or are those items in the instrument are consistent in measuring the skills that you really want to measure. So that is the internal consistency of those questions. So amo ni tawag nato niya across items or internal consistency within the instrument. And the last reliability testing is that across different raters or evaluator, that is what we call also as inter-rater reliability. So test, retest, internal consistency, and inter-rater reliability are the focus of our discussion in the reliability testing. So if the test tool or instrument is unreliable, it cannot produce a valid outcome. So it is simply that if you don't know if your instrument is reliable or not, then you probably ask assistance from the source kung na-conduct ang reliability testing or validity testing. So let's move on. Let's talk first about test retest reliability. So this indicates the repeatability of test scores when administered twice to the same group of examinees with a time interval in between. Example, 2-week time interval. In the conduct of research, guys, we are also conducting this test retest interval, or we call this administered twice to the same group. When you are going to use your instrument before the conduct of that instrument to the actual participant, then you are going to have the test retest. So this is what we call the reliability testing, in which you are going to use the same group. Example, you are going to use the second year BEd, then you are going to conduct testing using your instrument in that particular time. Example, on January 5, you're going to conduct, and after 2 weeks, you're going to conduct again, probably sa 15, January 15, you're going to conduct again the test in on January 15 on the same group of individual. That is what we call test retest reliability. So probably you are going to generate two results, no? The first one and after 2 weeks, you're going to conduct again, and that is the second result. So the two sets of scores are correlated using the person product moment coefficient of correlation, or is symbolized by small letter r, that establishes the measure of reliability. So ang atong gamiton nga instrument or ang atong nga tool, usually mo na ginagamit sa research base mga lipat ka mo when you're going to conduct a research, when you're going to get the relationship of the two variables or the scores of the two groups, then you probably use the person product moment coefficient of correlation. Then the reliability coefficient is expressed in a range of scores from 0 to 1, which are denoted as follow. In table 10, we have level of reliability coefficient according to Navarro and Santos 2012. So reliability coefficient from 0.90 and above, it is interpreted as excellent reliability in the test is at the level of best standardized test. So it means that you are really assured when you get the 0.90 and above reliability result. However, if you have 0.81 to 90, then that is very good for a classroom test. And of course, 0.71 to 0.80, good for a classroom test, but there are probably a few items that need to be improved. So 0.61 to 70 is somewhat low, and the test needs to be supplemented by another measures. For example, more tests to be given to determine the grades, or there are probably some items which could be improved. So may problema na ta mag 0.6 to 70 ka. So magpadalong pagit 0.51 to 60 that suggests needs for revision of test unless it is quite short 10 or fewer items lang. The test definitely needs to be supplemented by other measures or more tests for grading. And the last is 0.15 below, questionable reliability. The test will not contribute to heavily to course grade, or it needs revision. So probably this is the level that we are going to look in getting the scores in the reliability testing. For example, Professor OZ constructed a reading test and subject it uh, to a retest method using 15 students to ensure its reliability. The table shows the scores obtained by the examinees during the first and second administration of the test, observing a 15-day interval in between. So, gani 15-day interval ang iya ginimo using 15 students, and then this is the formula. So, R sub xy, or ang aton nga person moment correlation, is equal to n, which is the total population, which is 15, multiplied by summation of x, y, minus quantity summation x and quantity summation y, over the square root of quantity n, so times summation x squared minus quantity summation x, quantity squared, times n summation of y squared minus quantity summation y, raised to the power of 2. And this is the formula that we are going to use, and since we have the data already, meron kita 15 within 15 days, here is now the result of the test scores. So for 15 students, the test scores for the first run, ang una nga score, student 117 hasta dire. And if you're going to get the scores, you have to get also the summation of x. This is the first, and we represented it as x, and the total is 427. And here comes now the test or the retest score of the students after 3 weeks or 15 days, no, or almost 3 weeks. So we have 22, 28, 12, and the summation of it is 448. Probably nagtaas-taas sa gamay from the summation of x after some 15 days. So, multiply natin ang 17 times 22, we get 374 asa sa dalom. Okay, so pwede tayo gamitan sa spreadsheet, i-punta natin formula para mas mahapos sa aton. I-distribute lang natin, i-encode natin ang score, array, score, i-multiply natin sila kag butongon padalom. And we will get 13,291. If we are going to square the 17 x squared, 17 times 17, then we will get 289. If we get square the 49, then we get 2,401. Pag kung totalon natin sila, then we will get the summation of x squared, which is 13,917. The same will happen to y squared as the retest score. So, squared man natin kagko ng iyang total. Okay? So, for the table, amo na iyang itsura. So, kinahanglan kabalo kita mag-run sini sa Excel. Ay, nung kabaloy ka mo magamit, hindi ako na natin himo pa. Next, para mas mapo sa atin. Let's now distribute or substitute the value. We have 15 times summation of x, y. We have 13,291 times minus times 423 times 484. And simplifying the formula, we get 199,365 minus 191,296. So, kung i-process man natin, 15,000 times 13,979, we will get 209,685. If we're going to get the square of 427, then we will get 182,329. The same true with 15,000 multiplied to 14,586, we will get 218,790. And if you are going to get again 448, the square of this is 200,704. Then if you are going to subtract this, then we will get 8,069, and perform the operation required, then we will get 27,356 multiplied to 18,086. If you are going to multiply it again, we will generate 22,243.22, and it's square and the square root of this. So 8,069 over this number, then we will generate 0.36. What is the implication of our result as our computation? Then the obtained R sub xy or rho, Spearman rho, is equal to 0.36, which is lower than 0.50. This indicates that the test has a questionable level of reliability. It will not contribute to successfully meet the desired course outcomes and therefore needs to be thoroughly reviewed and revised. So usually, ang iya ginahambal nga dapat makabababaw ka, ang ginahambal gani is 0.50, but usually, ang gina-require sa research gani is 0.70. Pero okay man kung mag-50, pero sa test lang siya. Usually, amo nang sang ginagamit nila as a measure in order to determine the reliability of the instrument. After the sometime naging conduct siya, after 15 days sa aton niya, mosulingon hindi saya reliable sa sina nga aspeto. Okay? So that is the reliability testing using the test retest. Take note lang ang test retest sa reliability testing, i-conduct naton ang the same nga test sa kaduwa nga beses sa nagkalain-lain nga tiyempo. Example, there is an interval of 15 days, just like what we have given as an example, or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So, mabalaan nato ng consistency sa atong instrument. After sometimes, at the same, sa pareho lang ang mga grupo. And we are going to use the Spearman law as per um, person moment correlation to determine the reliability. Okay, so we will be using the table in order to compare and get the description of our result. That's all for today. Thank you and mayong adlaw.